As you prepare for your interview, you may be considering which questions the employer is going to ask you. While there's no way to know for sure what topics will be covered, there are several popular interview questions you can expect to be asked. Every interviewer is different and their questions may vary. By preparing answers for these common interview questions, you can develop compelling talking points to make a great impression during your next job interview. While some job interviewers take a fairly unusual approach to interview questions, most job interviews involve an exchange of common interview questions and answers, including some of the most often asked behavioral interview questions. Here are some of the most common interview questions, along with the best way to answer them. Common interview questions and answers. 1. Tell me about yourself. Tip: your interviewers will likely start out with a question about yourself and your background to get to know you. Start out by giving them an overview of your current position or activities, then provide the most important and relevant highlights from your background that make you most qualified for the role. Example: currently, I serve as the assistant to 3 of the company's 5 executive team members, including the CEO. From my 12 years of experience as an executive assistant, I've developed the ability to anticipate roadblocks and create effective alternative plans. My greatest value to any executive is my ability to work independently, freeing up their time to focus on the needs of the business. It's clear that you're looking for someone who understands the nuances of managing a CEO's busy day and can proactively tackle issues. As someone with an eye for detail and a drive to organize, I thrive on making sure every day has a clear plan and every plan is clearly communicated. 2. How would you describe yourself? Tip: when an interviewer asks you to talk about yourself, they're looking for information about how your qualities and characteristics align with the skills they believe are required to succeed in the role. If possible, include quantifiable results to demonstrate how you use your best attributes to drive success. Example: I would say that as a security officer, I'm vigilant, proactive and committed to ensuring safe, secure, and orderly environments. In my last incident response rating, I received a 99% against the team average, which has been at around 97% over the past 3 years. I like to be thorough, documenting all incidents. I'm also a lifelong learner, always seeking out the latest security equipment and techniques to patrol buildings. I frequently make suggestions to management about security improvements and changes as my motivation comes from making a meaningful contribution. 3. What makes you unique? Tip: employers often ask this question to identify why you might be more qualified than other candidates they're interviewing. To answer, focus on why hiring you would benefit the employer. Since you don't know the other applicants, it can be challenging to think about your answer in relation to them. Addressing why your background makes you a good fit will let employers know why your traits and qualifications make you well prepared. Example: what makes me unique is my experience of having spent 4 years in retail. Because I've had first-hand experience fielding shoppers' questions, feedback and complaints, I know what customers want. I know what it takes to create a positive consumer experience because I've had that direct interaction, working directly with consumers in person. 4. What are your biggest weaknesses? Every candidate knows how to answer this question. Just pick a theoretical weakness and magically transform that flaw into a strength in disguise. For example, my biggest weakness is getting so absorbed in my work that I lose all track of time. Every day I look up and realize everyone has gone home. I know I should be more aware of the clock, but when I love what I'm doing I just can't think of anything else. So your biggest weakness is that you'll put in more hours than everyone else? Great. A better approach is to choose an actual weakness, but one you're working to improve. Share what you're doing to overcome that weakness. No one is perfect, but showing you're willing to honestly self-assess and then seek ways to improve comes pretty darn close. 5. What are your biggest strengths? I'm not sure why interviewers ask this question. Your resume and experience should make your strengths readily apparent. Even so, if you're asked, provide a sharp, on-point answer. Be clear and precise. If you're a great problem solver, don't just say that. Provide a few examples, pertinent to the opening, that prove you're a great problem solver. If you're an emotionally intelligent leader, don't just say that, provide a few examples that prove you know how to answer the unasked question. In short, don't just claim to have certain attributes, prove you have those attributes. 6. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Answers to this question go one of two basic ways. Candidates try to show their incredible ambition because that's what they think you want by providing an extremely optimistic answer, "I want your job." Or they try to show their humility because that's what they think you want by providing a meek, self-deprecating answer, "There are so many talented people here. I just want to do a great job and see where my talents take me." In either case, you learn nothing, other than possibly how well candidates can sell themselves. For interviewers, here's a better question: what business would you love to start? That question applies to any organization, because every employee at every company should have an entrepreneurial mindset. The business a candidate would love to start tells you about her hopes and dreams, her interests and passions, the work she likes to do, the people she likes to work with, so just sit back and listen. 7. Out of all the candidates, why should we hire you? Since a candidate cannot compare himself with people he doesn't know, all he can do is describe his incredible passion and desire and commitment and, well, basically beg for the job. Way too many interviewers ask the question and then sit back, arms folded, as if to say, "Go ahead. I'm listening. Try to convince me." And you learn nothing of substance. Here's a better question: what do you feel I need to know that we haven't discussed? Or even, if you could get a do-over on one of my questions, how would you answer it now? Rarely do candidates come to the end of an interview feeling they've done their best. Maybe the conversation went in an unexpected direction. Maybe the interviewer focused on one aspect of their skills and totally ignored other key attributes. Or maybe candidates started the interview nervous and hesitant, and now wish they could go back and better describe their qualifications and experience. Plus, think of it this way: your goal as an interviewer is to learn as much as you possibly can about every candidate, so don't you want to give them the chance to ensure you do? Just make sure to turn this part of the interview into a conversation, not a soliloquy. Don't just passively listen and then say, "Thanks. We'll be in touch." Ask follow-up questions. Ask for examples. And of course, if you're asked this question, use it as a chance to highlight things you haven't been able to touch on. 8. Why do you want to work here? Interviewers often ask this question as a way to determine whether or not you took the time to research the company and to learn why you see yourself as a good fit. The best way to prepare for this question is to do your homework and learn about the products, services, mission, history and culture of this workplace. In your answer, mention the aspects of the company that appeals to you and align with your career goals. Explain why you're looking for these things in an employer. Example: the company's mission to help college grads pay off their student loan debt speaks to me. I've been in that situation, and I'd love the opportunity to work with a company that's making a difference. Finding a company with a positive work environment and values that align with my own has remained a priority throughout my job search, and this company ranks at the top of the list. 9. What interests you about this role? Like the previous question, hiring managers often include this question to make sure you understand the role and give you an opportunity to highlight your relevant skills. In addition to thoroughly reading the job description, it can be helpful to compare the role requirements against your skills and experience. Choose a few things you particularly enjoy or excel at, and focus on those in your answer. Example: making a meaningful difference in the lives of my patients and their families motivates me to strive for excellence in everything I do. I look forward to seeing their reaction when we get a positive outcome that will change their lives forever. Like the family of a young boy we treated last year, at 8 years old, he had experienced rapid weight gain and signs of depression. His parents described him as a usually joyful child, but now he seemed disengaged and uninterested in his typical schedule. In the end, we determined that it was hypothyroidism, which is, of course, controllable with medication. The boy is adjusting well to the treatment and has returned to his joyful self. That's why I became a nurse and why I'm pursuing a position in pediatrics. 10. What motivates you? Employers ask this question to gauge your level of self-awareness and ensure your sources of motivation align with the role. To answer, be as specific as possible, provide real-life examples and tie your answer back to the job role. Example: making a truer difference in the lives of my patients and their families motivates me to strive for excellence in everything I do. I look forward to seeing my patients' reactions when we get a positive outcome that will change their lives forever. That's why I became a nurse, and why I'm pursuing a position in pediatrics.